Welcome back to This Side of 40. This is your girl Lou, and I put up a nail tutorial thing yesterday and slash update on the polish I used, and the person who left me a bad comment, I see your page don't have nothing on it, so I know you're just a troll. No problem. Appreciate it because you watched the whole thing. Thanks. But anywho, so Nona was like, your toenail fell off. So let me tell y'all how all these health issue things started. So my daughter turned 18 on May 17th. So that's number one. So then Ricky had made me promise, like a long time ago, when the kids all turned 18, because I already had my kids before we got married, and he's been such a good father to them. He was just like, babe, you need to take care of you, like when the kids is all grown. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a physical and everything, except COVID was going on. So I had made me an appointment to get a physical, but you know, they not let you into the doctor's office. So they had came up with, I was gonna get my labs done, and then I was gonna do a virtual doctor appointment. So got my labs done, and I think I went to work before they got my labs back, and half of my toenail fell off. Like, it just fell off. And so a couple days later, the other half of the toenail fell off, and they were saying that my labs was coming back kind of funny, like I had an infection or something. So I was like, maybe that was the toenail thing. Like, I was telling the doctor that. Disclaimer, let me tell y'all the lead up to the toenail. When grandma was alive, me and grandma had bought all these bottles of starch. That we put them in the top of the closet, in the hall closet. One fell on my toenail. I ended up in the hospital. My toe was bleeding. My toenail cracked all the way down to the eponychium right here at the top of your nail, like right here. It cracked all the way down the middle, and it kept bleeding. It wouldn't stop bleeding. So Ricky had to take me to the emergency room. The toenail never grew back right. That's the disclaimer. That's the lead up to the toenail situation. It wasn't a fungus, none of that. That's just what happened. So doctor calls, we're talking about it, and I said to him, like, I think maybe I have toenail fungus because that thing had split, and I never had it really treated or looked at after that. Like, it bled, I soaked it, got it together, and that was it, because I was taking care of grandma, so I didn't have time to worry about that toenail. 3 going on 4 years later, now I'm like, I need to worry about this toenail. So it fell off. So then went to the doctor, and the doctor says, I'm assigning you to a blood doctor, to hematologist or whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. Not knowing, like, they're like, your white blood cell count's off, and there's a spot where it's supposed to go up or down or whatever, and that's blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. So we go, and this is like the time, my first appointment with Ironside Cancer Center. Now, me and Ricky pull up to the cancer center, and we like, why are we at a cancer center? But, you know, hematologists work at cancer centers, so, okay. So Ricky and I go inside. The doctor, she's a really good doctor, little tiny thing. She's sweet as pie, and she's like, so, do you know why you're here? And I'm like, because my white blood cell, I told her the same little white blood cell thing. Me and Ricky's like, yeah, that's da-da-da-da. And she was like, well, we're going to be testing you for leukemia. Yeah, that's what we was told. So, then she was like, you know, you got to get your labs done and all that, but me and Ricky were looking around. Labs are hard to get your blood drawn here in Arizona right now. Like, you just can't walk into nowhere. You can't just make an appointment. They're like 6 to 8 weeks out. That's the reason why, like, our numbers going down kind of is confusing, because you really can't get anywhere. So, anywho, moving forward. So, the people come out to draw my blood. The first day, the little girl couldn't do it. I ended up with something that looks, hold on, let me see if y'all can see it. Looks like that, but she couldn't do it. This is from me trying to get my blood drawn. I have problems getting my blood drawn, period. That's not her fault, but that's what happened. So then, a couple days later, somebody else comes back out, and it's an older lady, and she draws my blood, no problem. But she didn't get enough. So a couple days later after that, the girl comes back and she's like, we don't like to do it on the wrist, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, that's the only way they usually can really do it. So I have to usually have my blood drawn like right in here. And they don't like to do it because it can cause problems. But I digress. So she ended up doing it. She had a trainee with her and he was really, really nice. So they did that and we got it done. Okay. That's when I was telling y'all about the at-home COVID test I had to do. That's how I ended up with the at-home COVID test, is because the company that came and draw my blood dropped off the COVID test, but they don't do the COVID test. And then they told me I had to do it myself. Then when I did it myself, they never told me I had to mark tube, all that. So this is, So then they told me they're going to drop off another one, and I could call my doctor's office and tell them to do it. Girl, they lie. So I call my doctor's office. He's like, your toenail fell off. Like, why are we going through all these problems? And I'm like, yeah, like, we still back at the toenail. Like, all of this started with a toenail. So, we end up having to go to Cigna and get the COVID test. I don't have COVID. So we get the test. Moving on. Then a couple weeks later, I was supposed to go to the doctor to get something else done. Oh, they was going to do a bone marrow biopsy. Well, the doctor's office that they was going to, it's like a surgical center that they was going to send me to, didn't take our insurance. So I had the COVID test. I didn't have it, but Ricky got the COVID test with me, and he ended up having it. So he's been locked in a room for like 17 days without us seeing each other. Like, I'm just handing the food, or we put it in a hall closet. Ricky grab it. We had used up a whole bunch of Clorox wipes, whatever. So then Monday, we went and got another COVID test. I don't have COVID. We waiting for Ricky's result to come back. And I don't think he have it now. But then that's when we found out, just in case anybody else didn't know, if you get COVID, they don't test you when your quarantine period's up. Like, you just go back into society. So you could be better and you could still be contagious. Like, Ricky was just like, wow. Okay, so tomorrow, which is August 13th, is the day I'm going in for this bone marrow biopsy. But now I have to go to a hospital to have it done, which is like almost $800 to get this done. Now, I don't feel like I should have to pay the $800 because I done paid a whole bunch of code pays and some other stuff just to get to this point. So that's the reason why I giggled yesterday when I was talking about the toenail, because all of my health problems, like, literally started with this toenail. Literally. I wasn't feeling good because when Ricky got diagnosed with that, a couple days before that, one of my play aunts had asked me to do her hair. I went to her house. I'm having hot flashes. And people here, for some reason, have the AC set at 80 degrees. 80 degrees. So I think I got heat exhaustion. Is that what it's called, babe? Mm-hmm. Heat exhaustion, is that what that's called? I think I got heat exhausted, but I left my aunt's house to go to another client's house and braid her hair. Her house was a little bit cooler, but their houses wasn't that far apart. And like cars here in Arizona, when you open that door, it felt like you just opened a fire pit or a grill or whatever. That's what it felt like. You just opened the oven. And so your car cools off, but it takes a couple minutes. So, yeah. So I wasn't feeling good. It took me like a week and a half to get back to feeling good. I didn't do nobody's hair. I didn't go nowhere. I slept pretty much all the time like a baby. Like, I was just asleep. Me and Ricky hardly ate anything. In fact, we both lost weight because, like, we literally was just sleeping and drinking water and Gatorade. That's it. And we even drank Pedialyte. Like, one of the kids brought me some apple flavored Pedialyte from Mexico, like, because they say it's stronger. So, like, that's what's been going on with me. Like, that's where I've been. The toenail thing, I promise you guys, if you only knew. And then, like, honest to God, since the toenail have been having the problems, every 6 months I usually clip it all the way off because it wasn't laying flat, so it like grow to a peak in that middle area. And they always say, like, in cosmetology, like, if you cause trauma to your nail bed, it may take a lifetime to fix it, or you might have to have it removed. So I feel like, because now I'm looking at it and it's growing back, and they gave me some medication for it, it's looking a lot better. But I'm telling you guys, like, all of this started with me trying to do what my husband asked me to do, and he was asking me to just something so simple as, babe, take care of yourself, because I want to be with you for another lifetime. Like, I spent 26 years.
All that.
You did. You want to be with me?
But I did say, pay attention to your health now.
And you said you wanted to be with me.
For another lifetime.
Yeah, for another lifetime. I spent 26 years. That's a lifetime. Raising kids. This fool. That he said something all romantic and shit, y'all. He did. But now he wanted to try to act all horrid. But at the time, he was being all romantic. He was like, I just want to be with you, and blah blah blah. He was sounding all all loving and concerned. Then I wouldn't be going through none of the problems I was going through if I hadn't listened to him and went to the doctor, because I wouldn't be being tested for leukemia if I had just let the toenail fall off and kept it to myself.
No.
That's what I should have did. Just kept it to myself. So tomorrow, I'm going in to get a bone marrow biopsy so they can make sure I don't have cancer, because
this girl done.
My toenail fell off. That's how all of this started. For real. And I'm sorry I look a hot mess, but I'm getting ready to go to bed. I've already braided my hair down and tied my hair down so that way tomorrow I don't look crazy going in and out of surgery. But because it's like a little lightweight surgery, they put you to sleep and all that. But realistically speaking, if I hadn't listened to Ricky, I would have never went to the doctor, and I would have never had no health issues. But
you sound like Donald Trump right now. If we don't test, there's no cases. You sound just like Donald Trump.
So that's what I'm being tested for. That's the reason why I just been gone, because, like, honest to goodness, the scariest thing that could ever happen to you is you find out
like Donald Trump.
Babe, I'm making a video. The worst thing that can happen to you is that you don't take your health seriously. Like, me and Ricky joke about it, and I'm just kidding. Like, if you don't get tested, you don't have it. But reality,
joking.
I am joking. But reality is, like, all of the stuff that happened to me started off with a toenail falling off. And that toenail was already damaged years and years ago. Like, the girls who worked with me at the shop would tell you, like, my toenail would grow up, I'll go out, get pedicures and everything. And then by, like, right after my birthday in the summer, because now I'm about to wear closed-toe shoes, I would just cut the toenail all the way back down to, like, the quick of my nail, because it would, like, grow at a peak and it would be lifted on the sides. It wouldn't be connected, so I just cut it all off and then let it grow back by the summer. And I had been doing that for years, so I think the toenail just had enough of me. And I hadn't been wearing closed-toe shoes since the shutdown. And honey, all I really do is wear house shoes. I'm being 100% honest. I got some raggedy house shoes. I put them on and walk around the house. I really don't go anywhere. I think me and Ricky went to the grocery store yesterday for the first time in like 2 months. So I haven't been anywhere. We don't go out to eat. Like, the food we get usually is either Uber Eats, Grubhub, or something like that, or we'll go and pick it up and have my mask on and everything. We don't go nowhere. Like, nowhere. Fuzzy got a puppy chino, but like we went to the drive-thru and the people got the mask on. You know what I mean? Like, we don't go inside places. So that's what happened. Nona, thank you for being concerned. Thank you so much, Gypsy, for saying anything. And like I said, oh boy who was trolling me, or old girl, whatever you are, thanks, because you watched the whole video and I really appreciate it. I know my video wasn't edited the best. I'm new at this and I'm not getting paid for this. This is just something for fun. And I truly enjoy it. And I appreciate your negative comment, because at least it was a comment. Huh?
Somebody was talking crap.
Yeah, they was like, oh, this is all patchy and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bruh, I'm filming this from my phone. And I'm not a YouTuber for real. I'm just making these videos for prosperity, have something to laugh about. And I'm okay with it. Like, I'm grown. You can't make me feel bad. So for the fact that you put that on there, thank you, because you watched the whole video and I appreciate it.
Not everybody's a professional YouTuber.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I appreciate it. Like, you don't even... Like, this person watched the whole video, and I went to their channel to see what videos they had up, and they didn't have nothing. They just have a little... Like, they just put that up, and I'm like, oh, so you's a troll. That's cute. I appreciate you, because you watched my whole video. I appreciate it. I hope you watch this one too, because I'd love to have a negative comment. Have a nice one, everybody. And I'll see you guys next time on this side of 40.